Hi, my name is Charity, and this podcast exists to create a community for busy moms who just need a break and maybe a laugh. As a mom myself, I admit it can be difficult to find friends as it is due to the demands of the family, schedule, work, and everything in between. So I created this space for moms to enjoy, have a laugh, commiserate, and catch a few tips along the way. We'll cover everything from hormones to headlines and parental grit to beauty tips, along with snippets of wisdom that have only come through my own experience this far as a mom. I will already tell you straight up that I have very little figured out, but there are some real facts about motherhood that need to be said and understood about working moms, stay-at-home moms, and just postpartum women in general. Welcome to Beyond the Glow. Happy National Puzzle Day. I hope you got your daily Wordle in or some other puzzle that you enjoy. I did not. I organized the mess that was my inbox and checked off a few things from my to-do list. So that's about as close as I got. But it has still been a wonderful day despite all of the crazy mess in Nashville. That's right. You heard it. The weather here in Nashville this past week has been crazy cold. I didn't go outside from Friday the 23rd till Tuesday the 27th. And I've seen the craziest footage of uprooted trees split totally in half. And as of last Thursday, 109,000 people still don't have power. We're supposed to have single-digit wind chills until Monday. So we're not totally out of the woods just yet. 'Tis the season. That is true, especially in Tennessee. We unfortunately did not get to the salt before it was gone, so our whole driveway was basically a block of ice. Although I did get my car somewhat dug out the other day, so that was a good thing. Today we drove the short distance to my mother-in-law's house, which is usually the prettiest drive with these gorgeous grand trees that perch outside of the subdivisions along the way. It is just stunning. But unfortunately, today I was saddened to see the grandeur of these stately trees reduced to split trunks and branches that gave them like a slumped over and defeated look. It was just terrible. On the way into her community, there was an old tree that had completely uprooted. And the trees just truly took a beating. Like, save the trees. I'm just hoping that the storm served as more of like a pruning so that they grow back even stronger in the spring and summer, so they're more bountiful. In other news, did you guys know Nicki Minaj is not a U.S. citizen? I seriously had no idea. I'm definitely late to the party on that fact, but I'm also not an official Barb either. So that's likely why I don't know. Well, she apparently won't be a non-citizen for long as she received the Trump Gold Card, which promises her paperwork will be fast-tracked. It reportedly was a gift from President Trump, one which ordinarily would cost a $1 million donation to the U.S. Treasury and a $15,000 processing fee to the Department of Homeland Security. I found the website where you can purchase the gold card and discovered that a corporate card is also available and a platinum option is coming soon. What that means, time will tell. And no hate to Nicki, don't get me wrong. I'm happy for Nicki. Congratulations on being well on your way to citizenship. I heard the path is usually many years long, and that's technically also been her path too. She's been here since she was 5 and has allegedly been paying taxes for at least a few years. Now, I'm not sure she ever submitted paperwork prior to this point, but she for sure now will be fast-tracked after charming President Trump and pledging her support. However you feel about that, let me know in the comments. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about the concept of a card to fast-track citizenship. Something about it just gives me the ick, and I can't quite put my finger on it. The concept itself is fine, but putting it out there that citizenship can be purchased at a price most can't afford opens opportunities for fiscal gains on one hand, but also seems to prioritize the rich in a discriminatory way. I've known many immigrants who have made and are making significant and positive impacts in their communities that can't purely be measured monetarily. I just don't think a fast-track status should only be available to the rich. And where will the funds from the sales of these cards be allocated? Are we using this to pay down the national debt? Help fund small homes for the unhoused? I have so many questions. I do think there is an ethical way to make something like this work, but unfortunately, governments aren't always among the most ethical organizations, as we have seen in recent years. I don't know about you, but I can see this going sideways really quickly. I mean, if we're going to look for the cream of the crop, fine. Let's choose the best of the best from all walks of life and income levels, starting with those who have already made significant impacts in their home country, irrespective of their income. I just think that's a fairer way to approach it. One way to make this happen is to create tiers per income level with a minimum criterion to meet for fast track consideration. This would be a good start to making a fast track program much more ethical and accessible and open opportunities for individuals of various income levels to submit an application stating how they would make positive contributions to the country and their local communities. And this could be backed by receipts of how they have done similar things in their home country. And this isn't totally out of the ordinary. I believe Canada has some kind of similar approach, and I think Canada also requires that you have sponsorship, like very specific sponsorship. I still don't know how I feel about this one. What do you think? I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this. Moving right along to hot takes on discrimination in the healthcare space. Y'all, it is truly a wild time we're living in. Get this. Y'all need to sit down for this. Please, I'll give you a second. Sit. You're going to need it. And take a breath. There are healthcare workers posting videos of themselves, making declarations they will refuse to care for MAGA patients, and one went as far as suggesting to sabotage ICE agents with injections and even poisoning them. One labor and delivery nurse created a video wishing a 4th-degree tear on the expectant Caroline Levitt. Y'all, this just won't do. No. Even considering all the faults of ICE and this administration, I mean, first off, I cannot imagine anyone being refused care when they need it. Not any one of my friends, acquaintances, or anyone else, even those I don't agree with. I mean, come on, where is your humanity? I do not care what your political affiliation is. As a healthcare provider and professional, you must be able and willing to check that at the door when dealing with patients and be willing to treat people you do not agree with. Full stop. If you cannot do that, seriously, please get out of healthcare. Secondly, what on earth makes you think that you can make a video like that of yourself and be safe from any actions the corporate entity you work for may take in response to that video? If there is one thing I've learned in business, is that a company will do what is necessary to protect itself. And when you venture into the area of threatening harm to others, especially as a healthcare professional, you have threatened the company's reputation, which hinges on the ethical treatment of the public for their health. And guys, honestly, removal would just be a minimum. You should have your whole license revoked. I mean, truly. And I say this no matter if you're a healthcare provider on the left or on the right, it does not matter. If you let your political affiliation color your opinion of caring for people in a way other than giving them the best possible care so that they can live a normal, healthy life, you need to be removed immediately. I am encouraged, though, to see that these hospitals are taking action in the public's interest and removing these providers. So good on them. But I'm hopeful that these people who make these types of threats will continue to be removed just for the sake of humanity in general, irrespective of political affiliation. Well, that was heavy enough, so thanks for sticking with me. On a lighter note, I recently had the best teaching moment with my daughter that was both hilarious and important. And also a reminder that she's still in that space where reality and pretend can easily be conflated. So it was kind of a teaching moment for me too. My daughter Mia asked for a movie a few nights ago, and I told her we could do that, but we had to take a break from the TV for the rest of the day, and then her dad would rent the movie. In an effort to negotiate for more TV time before the movie, because everything these days is a negotiation with her, she said she just wanted time with me and didn't want Daddy to join us because she was mad at her dad. And this isn't the first time this has happened. At times, she will state she is mad at her dad when she is upset in general, and then will use it as leverage to get her way. So my head was already a few steps ahead of her, and I kind of thought I knew where this was going. How wrong I was. Truly, I was very wrong. When I asked why she was mad and what her dad did to make her angry, she said, "He tore my clothes." Now, before anyone gasps, relax. I've never once seen any of her clothes torn at any point in time in since birth. So I prodded her a little further. What clothes did he tear? And when did your daddy do that? She replied, "He tore my dress in my dream." Y'all, I about lost it. I seriously laughed out loud, like straight up in her face. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. She was as serious as a heart attack. Like, seriously, she was holding a grudge about what her daddy did to her in her dream. And of course, it's very upsetting if you really think that's real. I explained to her that when we dream, it's not real, and that her daddy, in fact, did not tear her dress in real life. And then she proceeded to go downstairs and invite him to watch the movie. So suffice it to say, she's not mad at him anymore. Yay. And on that note, I wish you all a beautiful weekend. I hope that made you giggle, and I can't wait to see you next week.